Regardless of whether you listen to hip-hop or not, I'm sure the vast majority of all of you have heard of Lil Wayne. His music is undoubtedly a part of pop culture. However, in the past, before his popularity was as high as it is today, he made a song called I Feel Like Dying. Now, the actual subject matter is about what sounds like Lil Wayne's drug addiction. However, there have been rumors starting around 2007 and 2008 that the song contained a hidden message if played reversed. As one of the many that listened to it, I have to say that I was pretty creeped out after hearing it. Some people have taken the liberty of making lyrics to this reversed song, and as expected, the lyrics vary from video to video. However, this content is always the same: violence, murder, and something demonic. As curious as a person as I am, I decided to do some research on the subject, and I haven't found much. When Wikipedia had an article on the song, briefly it said that Lil Wayne never commented on whether these rumors were true or not. Upon going for underground sources, I have some connections with people in the music industry. I uncovered that once an interview with Lil Wayne was done, he was asked about the rumors regarding the song and reportedly ignored this question. When the interviewer persisted on him, he just got up and left, ending the interview prematurely. Another account said that when a fan ran into him on the streets and asked about the rumor, he started yelling at him and cursing at him. When the fan kept asking, Lil Wayne assaulted him and told him to never mention the song again. There were several more accounts of things like this happening. However, one of the stories involved a woman actually being killed by fellow rappers and label mates Drake and Guda Guda for even asking about it. Using the same music industry connections I have, I managed to get a hold of some backstage tickets at a concert he was having. However, the concert wasn't for another 5 months, so I had to put my quest for answers on pause until then. When the day of the concert arrived, I sat next to some really diehard fans who kept screaming for him. Like most people, I'm always wondering how he became so popular despite his rap skills not being awesome. But I wasn't one to question how a man makes his living, so I just kicked back and enjoyed the concert. The concert itself was unbelievably hyped up. There was so much energy, it was like a musician's idea of heaven. After the concert ended, some hours later, I went backstage and met Lil Wayne. Despite his lyrics, he's actually a very sweet and homely guy. When I was introduced to him by the bodyguards, he was sitting down reading his Bible. He got up and greeted me, and he introduced me to the rest of his Young Money crew. Drake shook my hand and then walked out of sight. Nicki Minaj gave me a hug, and I won't lie, I wish it lasted forever. After shaking the rest of the group's hands and chatting briefly with Tyga, I sat down to talk with Lil Wayne. We discussed religion and our faiths. For those of you who don't know, Lil Wayne is practicing Christianity. The background stories behind his songs. The song Lollipop was actually a dare by one of the song's producers, Jim Johnson, to make a song about blowjobs to jokingly release as a single, and we talked about our lives. I was impressed by how intelligent this man really is. He's had a rough life growing up in the Holly Grove area of New Orleans, and he says he's blessed to have a career as successful as his. I decided after about a half an hour of chatting with him, I brought up the song I Feel Like Dying. As I brought it up, his face went from happy and very cheerful to just drained of its color, as if something terrified him. As we talked about the song, he had told me he was in a hard time in his life when he wrote this song, that without his drugs, that he would feel like dying. And then he tried to change the subject. When I asked about the rumors of a hidden message in the song, he became visibly angry and denied that there was a hidden message. When I told him I had sources saying otherwise, he was now on the point of tears and told me to get the hell out. As the security guard was escorting me out, I managed to catch a glimpse of him clutching his Bible and chanting Bible verses over and over and over again. The man was now obviously afraid now. It got me more curious. Why would this man just freak out and have me kicked out? I knew there was a reason, and I set out to find it. After some time had passed, I managed to get a hold of Kool and Dre. If you don't know who they are hip-hop producers who have produced many of Lil Wayne's songs. I chatted with them as I mentioned the supposed hidden message in I Feel Like Dying. Dre just stomped out of the room, and Cool just stood there with a frozen expression. When I asked him once again, he whispered to me, "I can't explain here. They'll hear us. Follow me." When I asked who is they, he told me to follow him to his car. When we got to it, he told me to never mention, and I mean never mention, what he was going to tell me to anyone. Then he started the car and started driving. After 15 minutes of driving and Cool being silent, we arrived at a large church. The church was already having sessions, as I could see a swarm of people gathering inside. I followed Cool into the church, and he said, "Alright, they can't hear us here." When I asked who, he replied with, "The real producers of the song." Apparently, shortly before Lil Wayne's popularity boomed, he made a pact with a demon called Murmur, that in exchange for a soul. Finding new and more people to make the same pact, and allowing him to possess Lil Wayne for a short period of time, he would make him one of the most popular rappers alive, and make sure his career booms. Lil Wayne agreed, and he started looking for new talent to recruit. He said that Murmur was the true writer of the song, and several of his minions were actually the producers. When Lil Wayne recorded the song, it wasn't him. It was Murmur possessing him for the sole purpose of making the song a reality. Lil Wayne has no memory of recording the song, and after a few years found new recruits. Those new recruits, you may ask, we know them as Young Money. All of the rappers in the Young Money crew have made the same pact, and Lil Wayne's deal was complete. Murmur kept as part of the deal and helped Lil Wayne and the Young Money's group's careers become successful. However, Lil Wayne now regrets this deal because he fears for his soul, and now regularly attends church, prays fanatically, and reads his Bible every chance he gets, hoping it will be enough for God to forgive him and take back the deal. Cool then said he remembers one time going to a studio session when the song was being recorded. He said that Murmur looked like a soldier with a uniform that resembled the French Foreign Legion. The color of the uniform, however, was a mixture of red, black, and orange, like fire and brimstone colors. His face looked oddly human. Not anything you'd expect a demon to look like, but his eyes were pure black. Right next to him was a strange animal next to him that resembled a giant vulture. He said that it kept staring at him, and he got extremely uncomfortable. He said Murmur spoke to Lil Wayne for a short time before turning into a floating pile of dust and violently flying into Lil Wayne's mouth. The force knocked him down, and he started violently choking and vomiting some foul-smelling yellow substances. When it ended, Lil Wayne, or Murmur, went to the recording booth and started recording the normal song. He looked behind him and he saw two very large demonic creatures mixing the songs and playing around with the instrumentals. The larger demon looked at him with glaring, bloodshot eyes, and he said, in a low, booming, demonic voice, to leave. Then Cool told me, "Now you know everything. Now you must never tell anybody you heard this from me. Everybody involved in the making of the song is not supposed to reveal its true origins. That's why Lil Wayne gets aggressive when asked about it, because they'll drag us all straight to hell if we ever told." Do you listen to Lil Wayne or any of the other Young Money artists? Their lyrics are not good. In fact, they flat out fucking suck. It's because of the pact is why they're so successful. The forces of hell make sure the weak-minded people listen to their music and gets them sucked in and ask for more. Now tell me your address, I'll drive you home. After driving me home, I watched him get in and drive off extremely quick and recklessly. I kept replaying everything over and over in my mind. I couldn't believe it was true, but I guess this is pretty common. There are successful music artists who don't really have much talent today who are actually really popular. While it would be retarded to assume they made the same pact as Lil Wayne did, it doesn't hurt to keep an open mind. The next time you or I hear a conspiracy theory about popular selling artists who sell their soul to Satan, keep an open mind, because with some research, You may find this completely true,